Just wondering about, when you look at the map, it's really interesting and it borders with Belarus. What kind of cooperation is there in terms of extending the zone into Belarus? Is that a plan, or is it not necessary, or nothing stops? Radioactivity doesn't stop at borders, as you know.
We have one project now together with Belarus to measuring the border, and from side of Belarus they have also big amount of stage like our eco center, but it's called some another way, and they also monitoring every day the situation. But the border with Belarus, it's still open. We must to make measuring to have it in map and implement this map. So after, I think next step will be to
strengthen this border.
Yeah.
But you have joint exercises with the Belarusian
Yes,
firefighters.
It's a little bit another. We have the same problem together with Belarus in summertime. We try to work together to recognize if they see some points from their side to our side, so we collect this data together.
I think Elena had a question first, and then George, and then
Thank you so much. That's very interesting. Everything about the zone itself and various activities you do and try to promote. One particular part that caught my attention is that the zone is becoming a place for spent fuel, whatever radioactive sources, waste management as well. What is the status of the spent fuel storage? Are you suggesting that, I know currently Ukraine sends the fuel to Russia for reprocessing and then gets the waste back. So the waste would be probably stored there. I saw also a reference to possible geological.
Yes.
But what are the plans for other, say, nuclear power plants? Are there plans to continue to send fuel to Russia or now to Westinghouse or whoever is doing it for reprocessing? Or you plan to have like a dry storage facility for spent fuel? Just, I don't know whether you know the plans or not.
Talking about spent fuel, actually there is a project under implementation, but it's not like our project. This project is provided by state enterprise Energoatom, which is under the Ministry of coal industry of Ukraine. And on the territory of exclusion zone, they built spent nuclear fuel storage 2, SNF2. So it's under construction, where all the spent nuclear fuel from all over Ukraine will come. Yes, and talking about Russia, yeah, we face this problem with sanctions, with processed waste, and in the nearest future there is already a project design of such a storage in Chernobyl, but we need help, we need assistance, and we work closely with the IAEA. They will help us to build such a storage for waste to return from Russia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, let me answer part of my question. You mentioned the number of fires that you have in the exclusion zone. How do you fight them? Do you fight them from the air, or do you fight them?
It also depends how big it is. For example, in August 2016, we had actually very big, and it was together in part where it's border with Belarus. And then we, of course, fight from the air. But mostly we provide some special measuring around the forest, and in the forest we have roadmap for 10 years where we cut trees every year. Some special place we cut trees that fire, in case it came, it don't go and not going around. So if, and this help, but if it go bigger, of course we use air and helicopters. But we have stations and we have old equipment.
CCTV.
It's very old, but it will be modern in future, and next 2 years I think we have planned to modern this.
Thank you.
Okay, so my question, you mentioned a little bit, one of the previous questions about Russia and like talking about like spent fuel and that kind of stuff. Do you have any other partnerships with Russia? Or any
No.
cooperation with them?
No, we have closed all relationships in terms of cooperation with Russia due to the situation and the policy of Ukraine. And take into account that we are state body, we don't cooperate with Russia at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. I think maybe I didn't understand correctly. The report on the recovery of orphan sources, is that already done, the report, or is just the first two stages?
Yeah, a report on, it's like database of all the historical data and another data sources from the state register. So yes, our Chernobyl Research and Development Institute, our implementer, they have provided us with such a report. I think it's with restricted access.
Okay. Can you share some of the findings on how to, the findings of the report can enhance prevention of nuclear trafficking?
We can share. Okay.
No, maybe
now or?
or if you can share the report.
Is there written, is there written report?
Yeah, it's a written report, but
The first stages, right?
it consists of all the, how to say, all the data from the state register and historical data of all the ionizing radiation sources, which were in possession of different enterprises, institutions, and it contains the total number, but I can't tell you right now the numbers, unfortunately, because this report, I don't have it.
Masaka, please.
I thank you so much. That's very interesting. And I'm originally from Japan, so I can't help compare what happened in Fukushima and this one. And of course, you know, you have some more longer history. And do you have any are you giving advice or like some? I'm not aware if there's any direct conversation between your organization and Fukushima.
Yeah, of course, we very close partners. We provide for example, very important project. I'm not sure you heard, but SATREP's project. It's aftermath response on the accidents at nuclear power plants. So your Japanese scientists and our Ukrainian scientists, they meet either on Fukushima or in Chernobyl, and they provide mutual joint investigations. So this is a very huge project, and Fukushima University is one of our primary partners. And also we are engaged in a joint Ukrainian-Japan committee. So it's, very close.
And maybe this question may not be for you, but what happened to the people who are displaced? I just you don't want to because it's a huge issue.
Yeah.
No, so just out of curiosity.
Actually, people was moved around the Soviet Union at this time, and we don't have any data, but I know that the UN, they provide some pilot project to found some families, and but it's department of medicine department take care about this project, and they make some monitoring about child, about disease, about cancer risk. But unfortunately, our agency not involved in it.
Yeah.
But we will participate in some election to know, but it's mostly for medicine. It's not.
There are some people, they, how say, out of law, they are, for example, 80 years old or 90 years old. There are just, how many of them?
150.
150 people, they still live in Chernobyl suburbs.
They have houses and some.
Yeah, they
chickens,
grow
yeah,
vegetables.
yeah.
I think they call it
Outside of
resettlers.
Yes,
Outside of the city?
No, inside.
In the
Inside?
inside.
yes,
The
they
30
out of
kilometer,
law.
right?
Yeah.
But in the 30 kilometer, not in the.
No, 10, no,
30 kilometers.
30 and in villages near.
And you
Yeah.
could actually see them as a part of the tour.
They like, yeah, they like our legends, and we can't deal with them.
But we have special enterprise who they take care about service for these people. For example, pension, money, and
Groceries.
electricity
Yeah,
lines,
special
and water,
enterprise,
and so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another?
So I'm very interested in the idea that you guys give tours and stuff, that you go and like check out this place that, but I'm kind of interested also in, I imagine that there's some, you know, radioactivity in places that still exists. And although you guys say you have like certain roads that you know are safe and certain areas people can go visit that are safe, what about people who just don't pay attention to those and they just walk around randomly through
It's
different
not
places?
It's not possible. Every team, before to go in Chernobyl exclusion zone, first of all, it's have procedure to register.
rules.
Yes, and in every team, it's 5 people, 10 people, or 2 people. All the time, they have specialists together with equipment to monitor situation and to know exactly. They know exactly roads where they will go, and you have no right to go somewhere without
You'll
this
Caught
protection.
by police.
When we were there, we were part of the official delegation, but we saw a few tour groups, and there were at least 2 people, one with the Geiger counter, but some tourists were wearing this plastic like raincoats. You could just, but there were still Geiger counters, and there are certain areas where you are not supposed to go, and you know that's how. But I think
Yeah,
it's quite.
it's under control.
Yeah, the rules of behavior are very strict, actually.
And you also there is when you enter the zone and when you leave, there is a monitoring.
Check, yeah.
You have to they check you the portals.
Oh, make sure you don't take stuff with you.
But yeah, also see if you're contaminated.
But
shoes.
actually, there are some, I call them crazy persons, stalkers, which just enter the exclusion zone by forbidden routes without a guide. They just climb in the highest buildings, take photos. They are really crazy, extremely, I don't know. So they are out of law as well.
So like how do you capture them if you don't know until they get back
We
home?
actually we don't because this is a question. This question. So National Guard and National Police is dealing with these guys. So it's not our direct responsibility. Yes.
So animals are not crazy. But there's a problem, right, with animals in the area going to different migration. How is that handled, or do people just monitoring it, or?
Yeah, it's quite a difficult question, not from your side, but for us. Because, for example, Przewalski horses, the wild horses, as far as I remember, 2 years ago, they just ran away from Chernobyl exclusion zone.
Yes.
They came to a village. Yes, to a man, and he didn't even know what to do with them. He called a guy, guy from tourist organization who is dealing with Chernobyl. He came and they just keep that animal as long as they could, but it really eats much. So yeah, that were some cases, but finally it was taken to the exclusion zone. So the population of such horses are very high, and wolves, yes.
But they not run away from exclusion zone. They like to be there because they
Yes.
don't like people. And
They live
actually we don't
comfortable
know. Sometimes it's say cases that we catch a dog from Chernobyl in some villages, but how do you know that it's dog from Chernobyl? Actually, we have special also program already more than 2 years. Every dog have special chip, yeah, and it's clips. So it's all dogs from Chernobyl have a system which counted. So wolf, but it's also the same problem we have. Belarus has, for example, when they built big project also from alternative energy, they built some solar park. From this area, bears came to our zone. They just migrate because they don't like these activities, and big family
They
with
like
bears,
Chernobyl.
they just move it to our zone.
Do you guys find like the radiation like sickens animals, or maybe some of them die, or there's cancers in them? Do you guys have any information on that?
It's very rare occasions.
Yeah, it's
yes.
it was maybe
It used to be a long time
first
ago.
5 years, but after nature it's renewed. This maybe some animals with disease they just die, but now it's no some special things with 2 heads, or I
At
don't
least
know.
we
It's not
provide,
like this.
we provide monitoring on a
Yeah.
constant basis. So
Yeah, it's just 4 it tells, you know. Never
So nothing on a video.
Never been catch some animals with 5 legs or 2 heads. It's just picture. No one see it. So
That brings, if I may ask a question, what do you do? How do you educate the population? Is your agency involved in the specifically public outreach against radiophobia and education of population on the dangers and what are myths, what are realities?
Thank you for your question. Actually, we are trying to implement such projects. But talking about Ukrainian population, even those living in Kiev, they have never been in Chernobyl, and they don't know that it's possible to go there. In the nearest future, I think we'll implement such a project. Now it's just some lectures, seminars,
and brochures
schools,
and some
but
special
it's not like
videos on TV, but not so popular.
radiophobia. It is,
But,
it exists still.
We have the deputy of our head of agency, Mr. Nasvit. He is
IAEA expert.
experts, yeah, and he is keep in touch with problematic of Chernobyl from long time. And his opinion and how he say to me first time when we meet, he says that the result of stress for human of this movement from this zone, it was more more bad or more disaster than radiation. Because it's just in our minds that radiation, and people start to think about and make huge stories, and so this stress it's more big problem than radiation. And I think it must be some project, or I don't know, some information for childs and human and everyone around Ukraine to start to think some in a different way, because we still have some people, I ask from government system pay money every month for Chernobyl child or some Chernobyl I don't know, liquidators. It's okay, yes, they was but it's not much them left. So.
Chernobyl child is already 30.
And it's big
years
amount of money going from budget, but actually we don't know for what.
It's not our question.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Okay, well, let's give another round of applause.